and you just put the master architecture there. But that stage comes when you have huge data is coming in, when you want to put your own database guys, they should have expertise to run the bin logs across the data centers, and you are perfectly like high availability to the servers. That type of intelligence when you bring the organization, definitely managing your own service give you benefit out of it. But until unless you haven't reached that stage when your data is huge and you really want high reliability and high availability of data, just my suggestion is stay with the basically RDS servers and all. But keep IOPS in your basic control, because once if you start putting all the read queries over there, the cost will go high, right? And like a standard IOPS will, if you set the standard IOPS of the servers, then your performance go down. So something like it's a answer is a mix of architecture, managing the servers, and what data growth and what stage you are in. But definitely if you have high data, and then definitely you have to someday move out of RDBMS because of cost, the other factors. But you have to incur the cost of the great DB guys who can manage all this stuff for you.
But to answer your debate question, this is not A versus B or RDBMS versus, NoSQL. There's no debate there. You have to use the right technology for right, place in the. So transactional will be traditionally RDBMS. For other things like search, etc., you will go, typically you will use a NoSQL. So it's not A versus B. You will have to use, both technologies, in the organization as you evolve. I don't know whether you answered your question or not. You want to ask more questions? Please go ahead, Yeah, sure.
See, I'm not myself an architect. I have a technical guy, but I do a lot of brainstorming with these guys. See, the challenge is that a lot of, even if your search data you're putting onto Mongo or a full text, so should the source be in the RDBMS and it should just be replicated for search purposes, or just search data? Because eventually search data becomes transactional data, right? The moment you do a transaction, that product has an ID which has to be reported on for MIS in the future. So in such a situation, I think I've been very confused and I've not got a convincing answer from anywhere. Now, how do you organize the data? Suppose product search is right lying out in a full text because it has to be searched all the time. But eventually, moment you order a product from, when you're displaying a product on the site, and you place an order for that, it gets into RDBMS and it has to be reported on for MIS, what product category is selling more. So I think it's been a tough one. I don't know how it cannot be probably answered in this forum, but yeah.
So depends on what type of product you are building on. So basically, if you are just caching the flights, you need to put in a system, right? Automatically, the search cache will update it and the booking and outside systems. If it's coming from your own databases, so you need to tweak the search only once transaction happens. So when transaction happens, then you have to just update the inventory and it will just automatically update the search also. Till the transaction is not happening, you don't need to worry about the search data. So you can have a sum of data in your databases, some other sources, and you just put everything in cache. So all the read queries are coming only to cache, should not reach the database. Fundamentally is this, and you only update the database when you have some transaction, then it's not an issue. And if your transactions are so high that RDS cannot handle, I think you're on top of the world already. Yeah, caching is the answer, right? Caching. So elastic cache can be answer of the thing. It's the smartest cache around.
One more thing which is, is your operational metrics. So, I talked about everything coming from a cache. I don't know how many of you, if you don't do it, please do it. Make sure that your operational metrics, and by operational metrics, I really mean that, somebody is responsible, accountable in the organization to report, latency, report, page out, how much time is it taking from a customer viewpoint, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, for the page to load. So somebody has to be made responsible in the organization to measure some of these, things. And that dashboard should be published. That dashboard serves as a benchmark, and how to improve upon it. So today you start with, let's say, 7 seconds of page load time. Then there has to be some effort in the organization which says, we will reduce this from 7 to 5. Let's take this as a challenge, and we will reduce it. So then you start with the base, and there's a goal which you try to, achieve. When I talk to a lot of startups, this is something which is left on the side. But ultimately, I think spoke about, how important this is from a user perspective. We all know this. You 1 second delay, 16% transactions lost. That's what the statistics says, right? So, but how many people actually focus on it is something that we'll have to really do it.
Okay. Any other question? Yeah, there's a question there. My
Can
question
someone switch off these lights, please? These really bad.
Can I ask you to introduce yourself and tell me which company and which area you look at, because then that's always helpful
Okay.
to.
So my name is Praveen. I am the CEO and founder of Enov Systems. It is perhaps the among the few companies in India that are working on the hardcore AI.
Okay.
Okay. So my question is to like both of you guys. Can you put some like it's a world of apps, right? Everywhere you see the apps, web apps, smartphone apps, iPad apps, any apps, blah blah apps. Okay. So can you guys like put some light on high performance APIs, because I think that is the very integral part of the web apps or the smartphone apps somewhere.
So your question is on high performance APIs.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Ashish, you want to take this one?
Like right now, like there are a lot of APIs are picking up, but REST is, I think, the best in the scene right now. You can just get the request and get the JSON out. So if you're just doing the app, right, and so it's a technical answer, so it can be many answers I'm just giving, which I'm comfortable with and we have implemented, right? So the REST APIs are the perfect answer for this with the JSON output. And if you just, it can, the same API can respond to your app, the web app, and basically all the things. So you can just find out from which type of user agent the request is coming and respond the JSON accordingly. So what we guys do these days, that we give the similar output for all the interfaces, either it's coming from web, or mobile, or app. So we can just shrink out. If it's request, we have to find a user agent. If it's coming from mobile, then it needs very less data, right? Because already rest of information is in app. So you can just get a subset of it. So it depends how you use the REST API, and it directly relate to performance.
So very interesting.
Am I answered your question?
Much
or
better.
Like, okay.
So very interesting here, while your external interfaces to the world, which is consuming it, outside your enterprise could be REST. Internally, you got to think that if modules are talking to each other, is REST or JSON the most efficient, or you want to go through traditional, Java calls? So I think internally we used to use Java calls because they were most efficient. However, for external publishing, we were, giving, more open APIs in some sense. But of course, again, horses for courses. For mobile, it'll be a certain set of APIs, minified. But for a larger set of web, it'll be more richer content. So, one set of APIs not necessarily fit the entire the need. So you have to really look at what is the end use, and you decide accordingly. Because ultimately, time is important. In terms of serving the content and the information.
So you guys have been playing a role of the highest board members among the company, like make my trip, right, those right. So you guys must be facing some problem like how to promote the apps, right? So can you guys put some light on what has been the challenges in promoting your own native apps across the whole channel, like something like that?
The marketing bit, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That would be the marketing. Yeah, please.
Yeah. So this is a pure marketing question, and
But you guys have faced that stuff.
So it's a problem for everyone. Like it's a finding new customer. So for one of the interfaces, so strategies are different for web, for mobile app, and for web mobile, right? All the three are different. So mobile app is directly just relate your mobile app marketing towards your loyalty program, because if so, how you should do it? Like you find out the customers who are making first booking on web or mobile. Right, or first transaction web and mobile, right? You have mobile site, then only I can make sense what I'm saying.
We have a platform actually.
Okay, so anything like which is happening, then just push the user to make a second booking, incentivize him to just make a second booking on your app, because this promotes your loyalty and stickiness to the user, right? And this is the one way to get the second thing is you just get your user base, start putting basically mailers to them, give incentives to them to download your app and something. And I can give you very interesting insight, in India, we say, okay, we are putting the money on Facebook, we are not getting the customers, right? So, but this is not true. Just tweak the little strategy. You just find out how many people are coming to your payment pages. Create a lookalike audience. When you get a lookalike audience, they are again coming to payment page, again create a lookalike audience, right? Keep your budget open. That way you get a list of very qualified users, and just try to send them mailer to download your app. And you will see the wonders in getting the qualified download apps. And my second advice, don't outsource app download to some marketing agency. There's a fake downloads, right?
That's a scam actually.
Yes, scam. So just keep the IP. So I'm telling you, the marketing strategies and your digital strategies are IP for your organization. No one else can do it for you. You can do some SEO work outsource, but if you really want to grow and you really don't want to burn out your money, do it by yourself. Create your own strategies. This is one example I'm giving you. It worked with many organizations, right? Because payment page, if someone is attending payment page, he's a legitimate user, right? And if you create a lookalike audience and it's growing, right, might be 2,000 users per week, but if you just convert it into 10% in downloads, it's a legitimate users who create booking from you, right? It's not a fake number. So just create a strategy around it and you'll see really things, and you can mail me out, I can help you out again.
In fact, just to add to that, Ashish, we have one session on that, on how do you really
Sorry, I
promote.
over-
So it's good actually you've brought that up, and we see that there are people who want to know that. So there is actually a session that is planned which will actually talk about how do you really promote yourself, how do you really make yourself visible to your target audience. And there's a demo also planned for that. So just stay tuned for that.
Okay.
We'll take any one last question before we move to the next thing. Any last question?
Perhaps from my side actually, I just want to ask one last question.
Yeah, please.
Now I will charge consultancy fee.
For sure. Is there anyone else? If not, I will.
Yeah, I guess there's no one. I don't see anybody raising their hand. So
that's
please
fine.
go ahead.
Okay, so I guess from the audience, some of the other would be having their apps like published on Play Store or iStore, whatever. Can you guys throw some light on mobile deep linking?
Mobile?
Mobile deep linking.
Sorry, we didn't get.
Mobile what?
Mobile deep linking.
I'm sorry, I'm just not able to make
Mobile
out.
deep linking. DEEPLINKING.
Deep linking.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Question exactly like what do you mean by mobile deep linking?
That's
Any-
the way that you the way hyperlink is to the web.
Oh, that's a pure technical question. I don't think so it will come. So I'm not a developer by myself, so I can't answer that question.
Are you talking about strategy?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Please go ahead. Yeah.
So what deep linking basically is, let us suppose I'm app X and I want to access an app Y from my app, right? So you basically give a deep link that you can access this app through my means. So let us suppose I'm a company who is basically dealing in social networks, and I want to access a Groupon site so that I can get the deals from that. So you basically put a deep link into that app that you can access it. It helps in ASO, Android Search Optimization.
Oh, that way.
These are the things basically deep linking does. So you basically need to give metadata to those
Now I
things.
got you. So you have the answer. You can connect with him for the.
Yeah, probably the two of you can sync up during lunchtime and have a deeper discussion on that aspect. Okay, so we're going to wind up the panel discussion now. And if there are any further questions, I think we can take them up during lunchtime. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for taking time and being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I hope you all found it useful. Please do ask questions later if you have any. So before I invite the next speaker, just like to quickly invite Mr. Prashanto K. Roy to hand over a small memento to Rajneesh. Prashanto is a technology evangelist, past president, media services at Cyber Media, and from the time I know him, he was editor of PC Quest. And Ashish, please don't go away.